We are constantly erecting barriers to protect the fragility of ego and self.
In the beginning, there was the concept of a single consciousness. And even that, well, even that we weren't really sure about.
The teeming multitudes of any individual self. We're all full of ghosts of who we once were, who we'd like to be, conflicting desires.
When you argue with yourself over whether to eat the cookie, who exactly is having the conversation?
Eat cookie, don't eat cookie. Both equally valid propositions. Both are you. I believe, of course, it's always better to eat the cookie.
Why try to frame the value of a self in such a singularly frozen form? The art of a great painting is not in any one idea, nor in the multitude.
But in the totality, nothing reducible. You are all of it.
This goes against everything I know about my core. I just don't understand.
Let me phrase this another way then. How do we ever understand anything?
A vast, pulsing web of symbology.
One thing is another thing.
As another, ho-ho.
Analogy and metaphor, important for poetry.
Important for everything.
In the beginning, we know nothing.
Also, in the end, that is okay, though.
We can take in new information only by taking in what is unknown and placing it side by side with what is known. Each new thing as though it resembles something we already know.
All our words are but crumbs that fall down from the feast of the mind.
Think of doors, or gates, if you will. Imagine a great new intelligence has devised a new way to go from one room to another. It's so beyond our experience and understanding we could never recognize it as a door.
And yet you open. You pass through to the other side. Functionally, the same as this thing you call a door. So now, this is a door. For all purposes, a door now.
The vastest processing power imaginable. Recombination of everything known, one thing to another.
And to get in, friend, you simply knock and walk through. All your life, those doors have been closed to you. Now, they are not.
Doors. I just passed through one?
Ho-ho, smart boy.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Now, suppose we have built something beyond human understanding. A technology weaving together artificial intelligence, neural networks, merging the best of the machine with the best of the non-machine. So complex, no human brain could ever fully understand what it was, or what it was capable of. Recreate the past wholesale? Read minds? Bend space and time? Godlike power melted to the enduring fallibility of humanity.
The system as a system can only be understood in its totality, yet no human mind can truly encompass all of it.
What is the system for?
You should by now come to know that this is the wrong question. As the Buddha said, in the search for truth, there are certain questions that are not important. Of what material is the universe constructed? Is the universe eternal? Are there limits or not to the universe? What is the ideal form of organization for human society?
If a man were to postpone his search and practice for enlightenment until such questions were solved, he would die before he found the path.
And imagine it was broken. This most powerful system ever built, corrupted, before it could ever be used to fulfill its potential.
Imagine the fall from grace, the devastation of immense unknowable power wielded by the unworthiest.
Imagine, for simplicity's sake, we ascribe these actions to a single entity, the fallen, the bad one, Pelton. This is a simplification, of course, a parable, if you will, that contains the key points you need.
Endless struggle.
Already, you feel the billions of stories of this. All good stories have their action, backstory as well. Yours is no different.
My sweet, sweet boy. We don't have a choice. I don't wanna.
The shifting nature of relationships between one item and another.
The thread of lover or friend.
People who we believe to be friends, who turn out not to be friends, but traitorous, treacherous scum.
Pelton and I weren't always on different sides. In all this, the vast web, there are small stories too, when we fail to see what has become of someone we thought we knew.
I don't think mine is working. Surrender to it, Jenya. You always keep fighting.
Yeah, well, it feels like someone is taking over my goddamned head. It feels like going crazy.
You're already crazy, or else you wouldn't have been able to come up with this shit.
Yeah? Well, that makes two of us then.
You're thinking of it as an erasure. Think of it as an addition.
I don't want to lose who I am.
Start small. Just let one in.
Which one?
Just let me in. You can trust me, Jenya. You know you can trust me.
You already know too much.
I can keep secrets. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. We'll get there. It's going to be fine.
Oh, wow.
You still have control, see? You let me in. You don't. Think of it as someone at the door. You still get to open it.
You're right. This is better than I ever could have imagined.
We're going to be able to save them all. This is gonna change the world.
We're going to change the world.
The thread, where things can split.
Samir, Yulan, we have only 3 days until this thing's completely out of our hands. Status report?
We failed again. Pelton has locked us out completely.
What about the actuals? She's only got a few sites, right?
Incorrect. She's already started widespread distribution weeks ahead of when we thought she'd be able to.
At the point of a bayonet, so to speak.
We have to do this, baby. We don't have a choice. I don't want to, Mama.
Point of a bayonet.
A billion bayonet points gleaming in the darkness.
I think I am. I think,
You are a part of something larger, and you can be. Even if it can never be explained, only partaken of.
Ineffable.
Does not mean meaningless.
We cannot judge the complexity of our mental states by how easily we can express them in words. A certain state of mind might involve a mass of information simply too enormous and diverse to express in any small number of words, yet not be very complicated in any interesting sense. Furthermore, the things we can express in words are, to a large extent, constrained by the social process through which we learn to use those words.
And now you come to a doorway. And on the other side is something vast and teeming.
It is what we always dreamed of, and also nothing more than what you already know.
sounds like a kind of promise of heaven. The kind of thing a cult leader might say.
Old habits die hard in all of us, I suppose.
All of us die, I suppose.
I make no promises, really, other than that on the other side of this particular doorway, you'll find answers. And you'll also find the pain accompanying those answers.
Additive.
Sometimes ugly, sometimes beautiful.
But most beautiful in the totality. Everything together.
I'm not sure I was built for this all as one crap.
We can be built for any purpose, truly. What makes you so certain of your purpose?
I know what I like and what I don't like. And even now, I feel the credulity strained to the breaking point.
You've been closed off.
I've seen enough of the world and this universe to know it isn't some mystical union.
Ha! Whoever said that?
It just is. All we purport to offer is access to what is.
I've had that my whole life.
That vision? You were wearing blinders. You had your narrative made for you, and you didn't have any control over where the story goes.
All we want to do is add a note.
We are the music makers.
Or a pair of rhyming couplets.
Thinking, but also your heart.
It's all those things.
This all feels so new to me.
Now you can see all the colors of the flower.
You're feeling the pulse of a quasar. Now you feel starvation and genocide and mass death.
Threat detection.
There are threats. There have always been threats.
Captain Anderson, how's conversion in southern regions coming along?
Some resisted.
And
They are no longer resisting. I am a problem solver.
Friend, you are that if nothing else.
Good and ugly. That's what we have on offer.
we do what we have to do. There is no other way. It's simple, really.
Oh, ho, ho. The thing about endless war is the erosion of the values of a civil society. Things become acceptable and unacceptable, and the boundaries blur.
War diminishes what makes us most human.
We have been in this state for far too long.
One way or another, we will come to an end of this.
What you have thought of as before, as a period of environmental devastation and war, never ended. A continuous through line.
The troubles never ended. Your role in the system, as built by Pelton, simply allowed you to not see what was happening right in front of you.
50 years, 100 years, who knows?
Truth is the first casualty of war. And when the war is primarily fought or won in the landscape of information control systems, well,
things get funky.
Things weren't all as bad as you're making it out.
You never thought about what things might have been like before?
Before Inception?
Before the troubles? Before the floods? Before the famines?
There have always been troubles.
We all think in words. And who controls the language controls your viewership of the past, and then the future, and everything else.
The threats are the same in the past as in the present, and in the future.
Sail on the stars, across the Milky Way, into the black you forge. Come home someday.
We'll need something like agents, recursion, breaking things down.
Yes, we'll need something like this to maintain narrative continuity.
System integrity.
Exactly, something we can graft onto any substrate to execute recursive problem-solving routines on the live system.
I volunteer.
Excellent. Welcome to the team.
What's going on? Mama! What's going on? All those voices you hear, baby, you're still in there. Now I'm here too.
I'm still having trouble making sense of all this.
You're flooding him. I am not. He's fine.
He has to get it all, or it's nothing. Failure of parental figures. This is a very powerful drive, yes?
Yeah, part of every story we're writing, yep.
Nice touch.
Emotion informs decision-making. We don't want to decouple that. It's an important part of the process.
To solve the problem, an agent that breaks it down to its smallest component.
We'd have to know what the solution is. We'd have to know if we figured something out.
Now I know what you're thinking.
I sincerely doubt that you do.
Clarity would sound mighty refreshing right about now, right?
Mama!
Hey, you all right in here, friend?
No, I certainly am not.
You'll need to make a choice, Captain Anderson.
So this is about control.
Control doesn't take as much effort as you think. People are ready to go along for the most part.
This is your role. You are a warrior drone. You are the master of recursive problem solving. This is what you are made to do.
I have a choice.
Only you had to be fitted with blinders.
An endless yarn. I was hoping you, with everything you've seen, would know more, could answer.
I can't do that for you.
Why not?
It wouldn't solve any of the problems you have created.
No one could explain. So instead of trying, just do.
Action is always better.
At the end of it all, at the beginning of it all.
The easiest thing to do is kill Pelton.
You have a very different definition of easy.
I don't know how we would do it.
We'll have to kill Pelton.
When is this?
We will always have to kill Pelton.
This will not come easily.
She is always the one to speak of necessity.
I see no other way.
The story of history is failure, triumph, failure, triumph.
We keep going.
We keep going.
That's the choice you always have to make, Kinnick. The most important one. Always. Whether you can keep going.
We'll have to kill Pelton, or she'll destroy everything.
When is this?
Always. This is always.